Alright, I want to talk about that new Fantastic Four trailer. Um, so I don't think it looks great. This is the fifth Fantastic Four movie that we now have received as a beautiful gift. You have the Roger Corman one, you have the two with Jessica Alba, the one with Miles Teller, and now this one, the one, I guess, with Pedro Pascal. And it's just so fucking funny to see them try this again and think, like, maybe this time we got it right. And I just from the tone of the trailer, again, it just feels like every other Marvel movie that's come out, very melodramatic, very like we have these powers and we have to do good even though our lives are changed forever. Who fucking cares? The fact that you're doing it like I think it's the 60s, fucking make it campy, make it silly, make it goofy. I got really none of that from the trailer. I guess you could argue like, oh, the fucking what was it? Herbie robot. That's fun. That's silly. That looks kind of, kitschy and old and fun. But it's like that's it. That's fucking it. And that's thrown in there so they could be like, see, we did it. We did a little fun cutesy shit. Like make it silly. Keep it fucking silly. I think Galactus is a good pick. I think it's a strong choice. And with that, you get the Silver Surfer, which is pretty fucking cool. But again, going back to like, this film should have been more campy or at least have that more campy feel to it. Kind of like Guardians. Is that if you did like Mole Man, that would have been fucking hilarious. You could have done so much funny stuff with that. And it would have been a good like entry level villain, like a good startup. This is the kind of wacky, silly shit we have to deal with. And mole people. It's also bizarre that you're not going that route because what they have not learned is that, okay, for example, X-Men. You really couldn't make a solid X-Men film until like the last couple of years because of the technology. If you did like practical effects for these heroes and villains, it would look fucking silly and no one would take it seriously. So jump to now where technology has advanced fucking tenfolds and we are able to see these extravagant, fanciful, fantasy-filled worlds and they look believable. They may be half the time boring to look at and just kind of feel overloaded with CGI, but it doesn't really fully take you out of the experience. You're able to kind of find some grounded material in it. And that's because of the work that people put into it and the technology that we have now. However, with the Fantastic Four, it's almost an impossible task because you have a giant rock creature, a man that stretches his limbs, a woman that's just fucking invisible, and a man whose powers is that his whole body is engulfed in flames. These are ridiculous, silly powers that you just see and you just fucking laugh. Like there's just a dude on fire. He's just full on fire. That's kind of jarring. And then you have the Rock Man, which I will say the thing looks great, but it's just the fucking actor's voice. Like even fucking Bradley Cooper does something with his voice for Rocket.
It's real!
But it's just the actor's voice for this one. Like, Ben's supposed to have that graggly, kind of like deeper voice, but it's just a fucking guy from New York.
I want to add a couple cloves of garlic. Not because it's not delicious, I just want to add a little bit of zip.
Like, who? Fuck you. And yeah, Mr. Fantastic, it's just like, I can't. They didn't show anything in the trailer of him like stretching and using his powers because they knew that's so fucking dumb. Like it's just so silly, and the fact that they're trying to do it again and just don't understand that it's not the writing, it's not the directing, it's the fucking characters. That's why it doesn't work. That's why it hasn't worked. I don't think this one will work. I could be wrong. Like my favorite thing of the Fantastic Four in terms of like I don't know, movies or show, is the 2007 Fantastic Four cartoon, World's Greatest Heroes. It's funny, it's silly, it has this interesting, like, early 2000s animation style that's really sleek and very comic booky. It works. It works, it's fun, it does not take itself seriously at all. It's great. And, wouldn't you know, only one season, because anything that has to do with the Fantastic Four doesn't last. Which is hilarious when you consider the Fantastic Four debuted at the start of, like, all this, like, new age Marvel shit in, like, the 60s. They have been running and around since the fucking 60s, and they're still apparently big to this day. The reason why no one talks about them is because they've been around since the fucking 60s. Everyone knows them, and everyone is kind of fucking over it. I don't know. I'm definitely now just evolving into insanity. So I guess I'll just stop. But, this is the fifth Fantastic Four movie, and none of them have done well. So will we see the curse continue? God, I hope so.